1. What's going on, guys? Seth Ford here, and today I am back with yet another college football prediction video. And this time I'll be talking about the Tennessee Volunteers going on the road to face off the Georgia Bulldogs in an intense matchup, SEC matchup, a do-or-die mode type of matchup for the Georgia Bulldogs, or another top-tier win for the Tennessee Volunteers. Potentially, they could go all the way to the college football playoffs. Georgia, if they win this game, they could also potentially try to go to the college football playoffs, maybe win the SEC championship, though it's going to be tough because this year has been a crazy roller coaster year for the SEC, in my opinion. Alabama just destroyed LSU. LSU, they're done. I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs now. But now this game is going to be between Tennessee versus Georgia. Georgia, their playoffs chances are on the line if they lose to Tennessee this upcoming game on November 16th of 2024. So let's go ahead and go through the slideshows like I've done all season long. I haven't really posted sometimes the last few weeks, but the location, it was at Sanford Stadium. This is going to be a night game, 7:30 p.m. on ABC Network. So this is going to be a live, crazy, intense atmosphere by the Georgia Bulldog fans because they have one of the best atmospheres in the country as well in Athens, Georgia. So it's going to be a chaotic atmosphere, in my opinion, because it's going to be a tough challenge for Tennessee, in my opinion, especially going up against Georgia, who just lost to Ole Miss. And so, yeah, that was not great for them. Okay, so the last meeting last year, November 18th of 2023, Georgia won pretty handily 38-10 against Tennessee at Tennessee and Neyland Stadium. So that's when they had a really good season last year. And then, of course, they lost to Alabama and got kicked out of the playoffs. And so, yeah, they were dominating all year long until at the end of the game. So that is the last meeting of last year. All right, so the previous game. Oops, I think it's like week number 10. Let me take that off. Anyways, yeah, there we go. Anyways, so Tennessee won pretty handily against Mississippi State, 33-14. Georgia, I don't know what happened to them, but they struggled on offense all day yesterday. They lost to Ole Miss 28-10. So that I was just shocked about that because I thought Georgia was pretty decent on offense, but apparently not against Ole Miss, which I don't really think Ole Miss is still all that great in my opinion. I mean, it's just because they can never beat the big games, but hey, they beat Georgia, so that's a big game for them, and it was at Ole Miss as well. All right, so the matchup predictor, this may probably change throughout the week, but as of for now, on Saturday, it had Georgia with a 63.5% over Tennessee's 36.5%. And yes, I probably can see why, because it's at Georgia, and that's a tough atmosphere to play in. All right, so the last night's game, the top three players of the week for offense and defense, we have Nico Iamaleala. I can't pronounce the last name. I've always will just have problems trying to pronounce that. He had 8 completions to 13 attempts, 174 passing yards, averaged about 13.4 per throw, had 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, so not bad for him yesterday. We got running back Dylan Sampson. He had 30 carries, 149 rushing yards, averaged about 5.0 per carry, and had 1 touchdown, so a solid day for Dylan Sampson for him in the running game. And of course, for the wide receiver in the receiving game, we had Dante Thornton with 3 receptions, 104 yards, averaged about 34.7 per catch, which is kind of crazy. So I guess that's why he had 3 receptions for big gains. He had 1 touchdown as well. And, of course, the other receiver that had a touchdown from Nico was Squirrel White with 1 TD. So pretty solid day for the offense for Tennessee. Now we have for Georgia, they struggled throughout the whole day yesterday. They had 20 Carson Beck had 20 completions to 31 attempts, 186 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I don't know why I didn't put the average, but anyways, it doesn't matter at this point. So we had running back Nate Frazier, who had only 1 touchdown the whole game, had 12 carries, 47 yards of rushing, and had averaged about 30.9 per carry, and had 1 touchdown. And then the leading receiver for the Georgia was Dominic Lovett with 4 receptions, 41 yards of receiving, averaged about 10.3 per catch, and 0 touchdowns for them. All right, so defense, they had a solid day as well for Tennessee. We had linebacker Aeon Carter, had 7 total tackles, 3 solo, 1.5 tackles for loss, and had 1 pass deflection. Solid day from him. Then we have defensive back Jermon McCoy, had 7 total tackles, 2 solo, so not bad for him as well. Then we had linebacker Jeremiah Tallender, had 6 total tackles, 2 solo, and 1 tackles for loss. Oh, there's my phone. And of course, they had an interception yesterday with defensive back Boo Carter with 1 interception from the defense. So they had a solid day against Mississippi State, but I think also Mississippi State is not that good this year as well. All right, so the top 3 players of the week for defense. For Georgia, we have linebacker C.J. Allen with 8 total tackles, 7 solo, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass deflection. So he had a solid day for him on defense. Malachi Starks, 6 total tackles, 4 solo, and 1 tackles for loss. Not bad for him. And then linebacker Jalen Walker, who's a beast, 6 total tackles, 4 solo, and 1 tackle for loss. He dominated against Texas at Texas, which is kind of crazy because like they beat Texas at Texas, but then they lose to Ole Miss the way they did, which is crazy to see. So it's just wild. And of course, lastly, the full team stats we had: total yards total yards allowed. Georgia allowed 397 total yards allowed, not so great. Passing, they allowed 263. That's a little bit alarming. And of course, the rushing, they allowed 134 yards of rushing. They only had 59 yards of rushing yesterday. That is not great. And of course, they allowed 27 minutes of possession for Georgia against Ole Miss. And of course, Tennessee, they only allowed 271 total yards, which is really solid. And of course, for passing, they only allowed 92 yards of passing. That's actually kind of wild, in my opinion. And of course, they only allowed 179 yards of rushing. That's a little worrisome, but honestly, it's against Mississippi State. They've had a down year this year, so it's not been so great for them. And of course, they've only allowed 25 minutes of total time of possession. So there you have it for the full team stats. You can also pause the video and look at it yourself, or you can go to ESPN.com and also look at it yourself as well. Okay, so I know this will probably rock a little bit, or this will probably make Tennessee fans mad, or Georgia fans maybe mad, but I think that Georgia will probably potentially win this game because it's on the line. So I'm going to say minus 3 points to Georgia. I know Tennessee's very good as well, and I think that Georgia will win this game at Georgia in a night game because their college football playoffs hopes are on the line if they lose to Tennessee this weekend. So I'm going to bet Georgia on this one because I think that it's on the line and it's a do or die mode for them because if they lose, that's their 3rd loss this year, and I think that they'll be out of the SEC of the playoffs hopes, depending on how well the playoffs hopes will pan out with all these other teams from other conferences as well. It's just been a crazy year for Georgia. But I really do like Tennessee. I think Tennessee may potentially beat Georgia, but it's at Georgia. It's going to be tough. The atmosphere as well. So comment down below what you guys think, and see y'all next time for the next prediction video. All right, guys. Seth Ward here. Y'all have a great day. Comment down below, and let me know what you guys think as well. All right, guys. Peace out.